What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Off the Couch Boxing. I'm your host, Reckless Rex Ruger.
And I'm your other host, Frank Benji's, back with another one.
Yeah. And I got a bone to pick here with our guest here, man. Or, a question to ponder with him. Do we got him?
Yeah, right here.
Do we got you?
Man, I'm not computer savvy, bro.
Me neither. It's amazing that I even have gotten this far in life with the podcast. I'm not either. I'm 51 years old, man. So yeah, I'm a little shaky too. I found this program to be, when I started doing this, one of the easier ones. There's a lot of very difficult ones out there to navigate through. You know,
I saw when I did it. It took me. I realized what was going on.
Well, I appreciate you going through it all. It's a pleasure to have you on here, man. And first of all, I want to say right off the rip, man, as a coach, I'm very curious. This is something that I was just talking previously off air with Benji's that I wanted to bounce off of you. When we see, just because of Richardson Hitchins' style, I figured you would be a guy able to speak on this. When we see a guy turn in a performance like Shakur Stevenson did in his last fight, and people will call it boring and criticize it, but other people will call it a defensive masterclass. But then we will see a guy like Jermaine Ortiz get criticized, actually throw more punches than Teofimo Lopez, but people accuse him of running. How do we differentiate these defensive masterclasses versus these dull fights? And what is the difference?
How do you what now?
I'm trying to tell the difference between what's the defensive masterclass and what's just a dull fight, and why do guys get credit for that?
I mean, boxing nowadays is just different.
Yeah,
right?
Agreed.
It's just that kind of era that we live in right now. That the hit and don't get hit, and taking your time and being a patient, which I call being too patient.
Right.
If you're too patient, you don't fight. So I don't know. I mean, it's just the way boxing is today. It's not like it used to be.
Yeah.
So in answer to your question, I mean, there's been dull fights in history where people call it dull, and because with the dog fights, you see a lot of patience. You see a lot more technique. You see people trying to hit and don't get hit. So if it's dull, and you got to look at what boxing, what people are looking for in the arena of boxing. Boxing is considered more like a brutal sport, so to speak, excitement. And
right.
so that's what people are looking for, that excitement. And when it's dull, people say, oh, that was too dull, and it was this and it was that. But really, those guys are not ascribing to the brutality of the sport, or that the brutality of it, like you would see in MMA and different things like that. So yeah, I mean, it's up to what you like. It's up to what you.
Do you think though that sometimes, like to your point, do you think sometimes the uneducated fan looks at it and calls it dull or boring? But
you can say that. You can say that, because I have a fighter, a friend of mine, who said that his family now is really understanding the sport of boxing when they see it. So you're right. If you're not educated,
right,
when you're seeing it, you won't like you're gonna, as the common onlooker or common fan, you want to see the brutality of it.
Right.
But when you start learning the boxing, you start realizing, oh, I get what this person is doing. So even though it's boring, I can appreciate it.
Right. And you realize it's chess. Yeah, it is. For sure. And Richardson plays the game extremely, extremely well. I mean, watching his ascendancy has been absolutely beautiful. How far away, if not right now, maybe even, is he from really pushing himself into those pound for pound lists, those those title matches? I mean,
he's not far away. He's not far away. And again, to go back to the dullness of boxing, or what they do, styles make fights. So right now, I always say, if you can hit a person once, you can hit them twice. If you can hit them twice, you can hit them 3 times. If you get them 3 times, you might as well run them over like a freight train.
Yeah, amen.
You understand?
Yeah.
So that's where I'm getting Richardson Hitchins to understand. Because sometimes when you're too patient, you can get hit.
Sure.
You understand what I'm saying? So you want to get in and get out. So again, so the way we're developing and what I'm doing with him is I want him to recognize that, yo, if you can hit this person once, or you can hit him twice, or you get him 3 times, there's no sense in us hanging around.
Yeah.
You get in there, you get him out of here.
Yeah.
So you understand what I'm saying? You know, you use a lot of times, you see a lot of these fighters, these young fighters, or these, so like the too patient fighters, they waiting around too long, and they're putting themselves in danger.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? They think they're being smart by being too patient, but at the same time, if you get the guy edge, he's gonna take him out.
Mm-hmm.
You can give him an inch. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So right now, what we're doing is I'm because it's all about development too. Because once you start realizing what you can do in the ring, then you start like you start daring to be great.
Yes. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's where we're heading. So people are gonna see more, and I'm not gonna say dog fight, but they're gonna see more combination punching, more like trying to get the person out. You understand what I'm saying?
Right,
While at the same time avoiding punishment.
Is that the kind of game plan? Is that the kind of game plan that you have to hold on a second? Is that the kind of game plan that you have to use going into April 6th? Do you feel like that's where the dogfight will be showcased first against Gustavo Lemos?
I'm not gonna say that. I'm gonna say it's part of the development.
Okay.
So if people see that, then they see it. Because ultimately, it's up to the fighter.
Right.
Where he's at. You understand what I'm saying? The coaches, we coaches. So it's like, get out there and get it done.
Right. Go ahead, Benji. I'm sorry about that.
No, I was just gonna say, do you think, to his point about like being ready for like a title shot and things of that nature, do you think that, like, for the casual fan, do you think that Richardson would be more talked about and more prevalent if he was 17-0, 15 knockouts?
Of course. And it depends. And it depends on, yes, I think it would. It would be, because it's always 17-0, 15. It'd be the hype job.
Right.
I understand something though. Even though you get a fighter that's 17-0, 15 KOs or whatever, it depends on who they've been putting in front of them.
Right.
You understand?
Yeah.
It depends on who they're putting in front of them. You see? But now you get a guy who's 17-0, say with 8 knockouts, don't mean he can't beat a guy that's 17-0 with 15 knockouts.
Right.
Especially the guy that's 17-0 with, say, 10 knockouts or 8 knockouts. It depends on who you've been putting in front of him.
Right.
You understand? They could have been putting more skillful fighters in front of a guy, and it's just what it is. You know?
Right. So, given what you said, so would you like to see, obviously, Richardson, according to BoxRec right now, 17-0, 7 knockouts. Would you like to see Richardson scoring more knockouts?
Of course.
Is it something that you worry about, though?
I don't worry about it.
Okay.
Because you know why? I'm gonna tell you why. When a person got skills the way that he has, right, it's more of a punishment to the opposition. Because once they start thinking that they can just run them over or run any guy over, they start getting roadmaps in their face.
Right. Yeah.
They start getting, the case in point, you look at Bowser.
Yeah.
Bowser thought, and I said, if Richardson don't knock him out, I said, he's not going to go into the ring coming out looking the same the way he came in.
And he didn't.
And it's the same with Zepeda.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yes, it would be great, to see more knockouts on his record. But at the same token, he just got to keep doing what he's doing and keep winning.
Right.
You know?
It's obviously a job, but in your dealings, in your conversations, in the bond you have with Richardson, are there any guys out there that you feel like, deep down, he really has a desire to fight, or is it just whoever they put in front of him?
It's not whoever. No, I could see a Devin Haney. I could see a Devin Haney. I could see a Sabrina Matisse.
Yeah.
I could see a Regis Progress and all those top guys. You know what I'm saying? That's out there. Tefimo Lopez. I could see those fights.
Yeah. So can I. Yeah.
I can see those fights. Sure.
He's really developed so amazingly.
And that's what we're moving towards. We're moving towards those type of fights.
Yeah. How did your bond, for people who don't know, how did your bond with Richardson develop? When did you come into each other's lives and start working with one another?
I started training Richardson Hitchins when he was about 15 years old.
Okay.
15, along with a gentleman by the name of Sosa Ariallo, with him, but then, transitions took place. So, yeah, Richardson was about 15 years old. 15, 16 years old. He's like my surrogate son, so to speak.
Yeah. And so, as you've continued to work with him, in what ways do you feel like, he's really grown the most? Obviously, he's developed into a fantastic young man. I've seen him in interviews. He seems to have that side of it down, too. So personable, so affable. He's a great young guy.
He fooled me. I seen him talking one day. I looked at him. I said, "You're not as dumb as I thought you was."
Yeah.
You definitely have a dialogue for you. But give me your question again.
But that is very important, though, in this day and age of boxing, though, like with social media being so prevalent, it is just as important, though, to be, a good talker and keep yourself in the mix and play the social media game.
Right.
You kind of have to, right?
Yeah, you got. I mean, it's really not like a social media game. I think that it's authentic. I think it's authentic, and I think that because when it's authentic, then you hear the real person.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And you can hear underlying tones. Like a case in point, when I had to train Saddam Ali, right before he beat Miguel Cotto.
Yep.
I trained him for that fight. He said something. He said the reason why people think I'm not going to beat him is because they haven't been watching. You understand?
Yeah.
So just by him saying something like that, that's his authentic self talking.
Right.
That's why, when I heard that, I said, he's going to win.
Yeah.
He's going to win. Because people are looking like, I'm going to knock him out. Oh, we're going to get in the ring. It's going to be, but he was real about it.
Yeah, he was.
You understand? Yeah. So I think that's important in terms of, not falling so much into social media, but using social media as a platform to be your authentic self.
Right.
And how people can get an idea of who you are and what you're going to do on the night of a fight.
Yeah, that's a great point. Now, if you were the trainer, and again, this is just one guy's opinion. We just recently had a guest on earlier. We asked his opinion on this. Another fight at 140 that we're going to see. Haney, you brought him up earlier. Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia. When you see all these we're talking about social media, seeing all these weird cryptic posts, is this a mental game? Is this him breaking down? Is this him trying to get out of the fight?
I think who's with Ryan Garcia?
Yeah. That's a little weird.
Well, they say that Ryan Garcia has, in the past, mental health issues.
Yeah.
Right. I don't think it's a mental game. I think that he's being who he is.
Yeah.
But I also think that, and I've always said it, that Devin Haney, that they cherry picked Ryan. I think it was a cherry picking move. And I said that when I first heard the fight.
Yeah.
Because they looked at the fight between Ryan and Tank. You understand what I'm saying?
Moneymaker. Sure.
And then after the other fight, I think after Tank. So that's, Ryan is being who he is, but I think it's all about the cherry picking the guy. because there's a lot of guys out there. Devin Haney could have fought besides Ryan Garcia to prove his dominance.
Right.
You understand?
Absolutely.
So,
not the greatest choice in the world. I agree with you, Coach.
If he wins that fight with Ryan Garcia, it doesn't really do anything for me, and he still has a lot to prove. With
exactly.
Those
exactly. Now, if he would have said, "Yo, bring me Sabrina Matisse,"
yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Which I
okay, now we're gonna see something.
Which I absolutely love, Coach, because again, he is not a name that people bring up and call out a lot. I love the fact that Team Hitchins is saying, "Hey, here we are, man." You know what I mean? Because that's the kind of guy right there, man. With the way Subriel Matias comes out and likes to brawl, I feel like, man, that Richardson would be a huge problem stylistically for him.
Absolutely.
Right, that's a fact. That's a fact. And we were going training camp for a while.
Yeah.
Just because, I mean, Matisse has nothing to be taken lightly, but because of the pressure that he brings.
Yeah.
And that would be a good fight for the people in the world to see.
Yeah.
You understand? Because now we're daring to be great.
Yeah.
You understand? People want to see fights like that. And people want to see fights like that.
Yeah.
You know, people want to see that.
Now, do you think 140 right now, man, is well, I'll put it a different way. You know, do you see Richardson throughout his career, changing weight classes, and where do you think and how far do you think he could go, like with his body type?
I think that with his body type, that he can move up to a 154 pounder.
Yeah,
I think he can move up to a 147 pounder because of his body type.
Yeah.
And as time goes on, we'll see. You know, we'll see what we need to do in terms of should we stay at 140 or should we move to 147? It's going to be easy if you go to 147.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he'll be much stronger.
Obviously, you want to go where the belts and where the money is, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, 147 is always popping. Now, speaking of 147, guys, and moving up in weight, they kind of go hand in hand. Do you foresee, or do you think we will see a Bud Crawford Canelo fight realistically?
A Bud Crawford,
Canelo. Yeah,
Terrence and Canelo. Do I think that we'll ever see that fight? Perhaps. It depends on Canelo. I mean, Bud ready to go.
Yeah, he is
Bud
too.
ready to go. So it depends on Canelo. You know, Canelo had made a statement, something to the effect about, what was he say? He said something about, I forget what it was. He said something about him not wanting to fight. I forget what it was, but
he's talking about. He said that Crawford was too small.
Yeah,
it wouldn't matter, and if it would be too big of a loss to take.
Right, but they say that, but Canelo fought somebody lesser than that.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So right there, that tells you that there's a problem right there.
Right.
If Canelo really want to fight Bud.
And he also had no problem fighting Jermell Charlo, who came up a couple of weight classes. He had no problem fighting him.
Oh, it was
a smaller guy.
Floyd. Floyd's always been a small guy.
Yeah.
Right. You see?
So now another guy that's avoided that you don't hear a lot of people's names call out. We were talking about Subriel Matias, but up to 147 could be a potential intriguing matchup. Could you ever see Richardson sharing the ring potentially with a Boots Ennis, another guy that seems like he can't get a fight?
Well, I mean, him and Richardson fought in the past when they was in amateurs. I mean, Boots got him, but I don't know. I don't see that right now.
Yeah, Boots just doesn't seem to catch a break though. Nobody seems to want to fight the guy. He's
but you know why? You know why that's the case? It's because of the fights that he was getting.
Yes.
Boots really wasn't like, and I know Boots in this, and I'm not trying to take nothing away from him. Man, his pops is real cool and everything. But I believe that Boots, the fight that he was getting, it really wasn't like proving who he really is. You know what I'm saying? And it's all about the money.
Sure.
It's all about the. Now, say if he would have fought and beat a guy, say as he was coming up, he was beating well-known fighters, not just like a guy like not like what was that guy name? Lipnet.
Yeah,
Lipnet was too easy for him. That was too easy for him.
Yeah.
That was too easy for or some of them other guys that he fought that really, you know what I'm saying?
He needs challenges.
Lipnet would have been a good fight for Richardson.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
Boots blows up after he weighs in and come into a fight. He blows up. So he was better off fighting stronger fighters. You know what I'm saying? Not people that didn't bring nothing to the table. Like when Richardson turned pro, when he was the Mayweather Promotions, he was fighting tough guys.
Sure. Yeah.
Trayshawn Wiggins, Kevin Johnson. What's the guy named Kevin Johnson? Trayshawn Wiggins. Yeah, Malik Hawkins. Like he was fighting guys that people knew about.
Right.
Richardson only got maybe about, I think, 2 or 3 fights that nobody really heard of these guys. You see what I'm saying? Former world champion Mendez.
Yep.
You see?
Now, when you spoke earlier about kind of falling into the game plan, getting Richardson to crack with a little more authority and possibly seeking some more knockouts, do you feel like, and we've talked about this recently, Benji's, with one of our guests, do you feel like that's an easier way to get those pay-per-view dollars? You've almost got to put a pressure on to be an exciting action fighter to some extent.
To get some of those knockouts?
Yeah, yeah.
I think that people are going to start seeing that.
It's the way for pay-per-view money, though, right? I mean,
no, for real. But like I said, like when you're a fighter, you have to grow.
Yeah.
And I think that Richardson is growing because it was a lot of fights that fell through that kind of like denied his experience in the ring. So to me, he's still growing, but now he's coming into like a different point in his life.
Yeah.
I think that people are going to see that.
Yeah.
I think that because like when he fought Bowser, people say he didn't have power. He said, oh, he didn't. And I used to tell him all the time, I just say, listen, you can't listen what people say.
Yeah.
So you start believing that, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Sure.
But you got power because I feel it on the pads.
Yeah.
And what did he do? He went out there and dropped Bowser.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right here. Boom.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
That's power.
Yeah.
You see? So as I think that he continued to fight and continued to grow in himself, people are going to see that power. And it's going to be a shocker because they think he don't have it.
Well, to add knockouts and power to the already ridiculous skill set of Richardson would be,
you know, it easily makes him the most complete fighter out there, you know, easily.
So people really have yet to see the best of Richardson Hitchins. Yeah,
no question. Yeah, no question. And I agree with you also. I think at 17-0, he's not right at the doorstep already. He's ready for that step into greatness. He's right there at the door. He really is.
Yeah, it was fighters, it was great fighters. Like back in the day, they had, I don't know if you heard of Howard Davis Jr.
Yes, of course.
Right? Howard Davis didn't have power.
Right.
But he made a name for himself.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And I'm sure there's other fighters, that didn't have, and I'm not saying Richardson Hitchins don't have power because I believe that he do. You understand what I'm saying? But there were fighters in the past that, didn't have a lot of knockouts.
Right.
But they, you know what I'm saying?
But we have seen guys be able to develop it though. I mean, Tyson Fury for his size, until he started working with Sugar Hill and sitting down on his punches and doing the Kron style, he wasn't knocking anybody out really though.
Right. So now I'm getting him to sit on his punches and believe in what he got.
Yeah.
And different things like that. And like I said, people have yet to see the best of Richardson Hitchins.
Confidence and development that you was talking about.
Yeah.
Huh? What'd you say?
I just said that's all the confidence and development, that you were talking about.
Yeah, he has the confidence.
Yeah.
It's the development.
Yeah.
He has the confidence. Because when he was young, I was already putting him in the ring with world champions.
Yeah. He started. Yeah. So the Gustavo Lemos fight, obviously, you wouldn't say anything other than Richardson is going to win this fight. But how do you see this fight playing out?
I see it playing out The way I see that fight playing out is, I think Gustavo is going to bring the pressure.
Yeah.
I think he's going to bring the pressure because he don't have no choice. He's a shorter guy. He's a shorter guy, and he's going to bring the pressure. And Richardson Hitchins, it's like the bull and the matador.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So I think it's going to be a great fight. I think it's a good fight for Richardson Hitchins to show people more of what he has. And I think people are going to enjoy it. It's going to be a good fight for the world to see.
And when do you see? If you had to put a time frame on it, do you see Richardson really stepping in and fighting for world titles sometime in 2024, possibly?
2024, before the year is out.
Okay, that's
before the year is out. You can see Richardson fighting for a title. It might be cerebral. Who knows?
Yeah, that's good news.
It could be cerebral. He has
IBF.
He has 3 ranking belts already. 4.
Yeah.
He got the WBC, IBF, and the WBO. So I mean, it could be either one of those belts that he can, fight for a world title in.
And obviously, we've given a lot of shine to Richardson because he is the star pupil, obviously, for you, Coach. But who are some of the other guys you're working with? Let's give them a little shine. Are you working with anybody else?
Right now, I started working with a young man by the name of Matthew Gonzalez.
Okay.
He's I think he's 8. He's 10-0 or 8-0, something like that. And he's with MVP with what's the guy named Jake Paul?
Yeah, he'll get paid.
Yeah, and then I work with a young amateur fighter, Anthony Tantillo, which is he's really going to be good. He's Italian. He brings a lot to the table.
Yeah.
He just fought, did a great job, a great performance. Even Chris Algieri said that boy can fight.
Yeah.
So
I'll reach out to him to have him on too. Yeah, I've seen his name. I've seen his name pop up a little bit. I'd like to get him on for a guest. Now, so when do you anticipate he'll be turning pro?
I'm trying. Well, I'm not in a rush.
Right.
He is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But he can be in a rush all he wants. But I just need to see more development. I think that he's good at what he's doing. I just got to see a little bit more. I mean, I could turn him pro, because he's been in the ring sparring with a lot of pros.
Yeah.
A lot of pros. You know what I mean? So
right. Yeah.
He can turn pro this year, but if he don't, it wouldn't bother me, because I really want him to win a national tournament.
Yeah.
First.
Yeah.
And once he do that, then we can talk about it.
A lot of exciting stuff going on, man. I'm glad to hear it, man, and I appreciate you working through the inconveniences of the technology and joining us, man. It's been a real honor getting to talk to you. Please stay in touch, man. We'd love to have you on again.
I'm here.
Yeah, we appreciate it, Coach, and certainly best of luck on April 6th, man. Going to be a long night for Gustavo.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you.
Or a short night. Maybe a short night.
Right,
Yeah.
So.
Wish you a lot of luck, though, Coach, and we appreciate you a lot, man. Thanks for doing this.
All right, Rex, I appreciate you too. And Benji.
You got it.
All right, peace.
Appreciate you, man. Give Richardson our best, man. Best of luck.
For sure. Thank you so much for having me.
Appreciate you, man.
Have a good one.
There he goes. There he goes. Yeah, he is training who I eventually think, when all the dust settles, and I believe this in my heart of heart for a while, and maybe I haven't been outspoken about it here on the podcast very much, but I believed for a long time that, you ask people talk about the skill set of the Shakurs and the Haneys and these technical boxers, but in my heart of heart, I like this combination of Coach Lenny B. Wilson and Richardson Hitchins. I think when the dust settles, he will in fact be the one that will emerge as the guy where people will be like, wow, we didn't even see this coming, but he's the fucking guy.
Yeah, he's very, very skilled.
I would certainly urge people, if they really want to see boxing done at the highest of levels, man, go on YouTube, watch Richardson Hitchins fights, Richardson Hitchins' fights. It's literally poetry in motion, man. It's a sight to behold. And again, that's a credit to the guy we just talked to, Coach Lenny.
Wow.
Man, and it's great that he was giving some love. I wanted to make sure he got some shine on his other fighters. Anthony Tantillo that he mentioned at the end has popped up on my Facebook radar a little bit, so I will reach out to him. I've heard good things about him, definitely, man. But honored to talk to the great Lenny B. Wilson, who, in my opinion, man, Yes, we had Bomac on here. We told him that right now he is the manager of the greatest fighter on the planet. And I do still believe that, Bomac and Bud.
Yeah.
Team Crawford's still number one, man. But, if I believe any team is really ascending very quickly, it's Team Richardson Hitchins, no doubt. No doubt the total package, man. In and out of the ring.
Oh, yeah.
And he's got Coach Lenny, man. So sky is the limit, man. Sky is the limit. And honor him. Lenny finally figured it out and put up with all the bullshit of getting the right.
I gotta go deal with these kids, man.
And that's real life right there, folks, right there. It's not just all podcasting and glamour. I got to walk out to a whole parking lot of paparazzi probably around my house, but it's what I do to bring you guys the best boxing conversations on the internet or anywhere else. You're not going to find them anywhere more amazing and interesting. Interesting, that's the key word. Content than on here, man. So make sure you like and follow us on Facebook. Like and subscribe to the page that you're watching right now. Hit the notification bell. Stay tapped in with this podcast and this one only, really.
Right. And with that being said, I will shout out Gary Busey and tell you that I can go 15 seconds with anything, baby.
Remember, if you want to be a champion, remember, roll with the champs.